Have you ever found yourself in a conversation that felt off, but you couldn't quite explain why? The words seemed harmless, the tone was gentle, but something inside you whispered that you were being led somewhere you didn't want to go. This is the signature of the manipulator. They don't just twist facts, they twist questions. They don't attack you directly. Instead, they plant doubts, wrap them in silk, and wait for you to unravel yourself. The ancient Stoics, Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, understood this game. They warned us that the most dangerous enemy is not the one who shouts, but the one who whispers. 2,000 years later, the tactics haven't changed. They've only grown more refined. In this video, I'll reveal the 5 most manipulative questions liars use to control and confuse you. More importantly, I'll show you how the Stoics would answer, calmly, clearly, unshakably. By the end, you'll have the tools to see through every mask and stand firm in your truth. Stay with me until the end. And if you find value here, subscribe, not for me but for yourself, so you never miss the next lesson that could sharpen your mind and strengthen your spirit. Question 1. Why are you making such a big deal out of this? At first, it sounds like a plea for peace, a gentle nudge to let things go. But beneath the surface, it's a loaded weapon. The real message is, you're overreacting. The problem isn't what happened, it's you. Think back. Have you ever raised a concern, only to be met with a dismissive smile? Maybe you noticed a pattern, a small lie, a broken promise. You brought it up, hoping for honesty. But instead you heard, "Why are you making such a big deal out of this?" That's not a question, it's a verdict. It's designed to make you doubt your own judgment, to shrink your awareness until you start apologizing for seeing the truth. Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." Manipulators know this. They want you to believe your instincts are the enemy. But here's the truth. Your awareness is your shield. The person who notices the cracks in the wall is not paranoid, they're perceptive. The employee who questions a strange transaction, the friend who senses a shift in energy, the partner who feels a distance growing, these are not flaws. They are early warning systems. So what would a Stoic do? Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone can show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." A person who values you will never shame your awareness. Only those with something to hide fear your perception. So next time someone asks, "Why are you making such a big deal out of this?" Don't get angry. Don't defend. Look them in the eye and say, "I care about the truth. Does that bother you?" One sentence. Watch the mask begin to slip. Question 2. Don't you trust me? It sounds so innocent, so vulnerable. But this is not a question. It's a trap, because trust, real trust, is never demanded. It's earned, day by day, through action and consistency. When someone looks you in the eye and says, "Don't you trust me?" what they're really saying is, don't think, don't question, just surrender your judgment. Epictetus warned, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Liars understand this. They use this question to shut down your curiosity, to make you feel guilty for being cautious, to convince you that asking for proof is a betrayal. But caution is not disloyalty. Caution is wisdom. Think of the business partner who refuses to show you the numbers but insists, "Don't you trust me?" Or the lover who hides their phone and repeats, "Don't you trust me?" They're not building trust, they're demanding blind faith. And blind faith is the soil where betrayal grows. So how would a Stoic respond? Not with panic, not with defensiveness, but with calm detachment. This is apatheia, the discipline of not letting emotion override reason. When faced with, "Don't you trust me?" pause, breathe, and reply, "Trust is built on actions, not words. Are you asking me to ignore my judgment?" That single line flips the script. Now the spotlight is on them. A liar will stumble, deflect, or lash out, but a person of integrity will not be offended. They'll keep showing you through their actions that they are worthy of trust. Remember, trust is not a gift handed out under pressure. It is a fortress built stone by stone through time, truth, and consistency. The Stoic never forgets. To give away that fortress too quickly is to surrender your peace. Question 3. Are you accusing me? This is the masterstroke of manipulation. It looks like a simple question, but it's actually a shield, a way to flip the frame and put you on trial. Here's how it works. You raise a concern. You notice something doesn't add up. You ask a question. Suddenly, instead of answers, you get a sharp counterattack. Are you accusing me? Without realizing it, you're no longer the observer, you're the villain. The spotlight is off their behavior and burning down on you. This tactic forces you into defense mode. You rush to explain yourself. You backpedal. You say things like, no, that's not what I meant. And in that moment, you've lost your power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." But silence in Stoicism does not mean surrender. It means refusing to play the game on someone else's terms. Think about a courtroom. If the guilty can make the judge apologize, the trial collapses. That's exactly what this question is designed to do. So how do you respond? With stillness, with composure. The next time someone snaps, "Are you accusing me?" Don't rush to fill the silence. Hold your ground, maintain eye contact, wait 2, maybe 3 seconds, and then calmly say, "Should I be?" Just 3 words. But those 3 words flip the pressure back where it belongs. They pierce the mask because liars expect panic. They never expect power. Real-world examples. A boss confronted about missing funds. "Are you accusing me of stealing?" A partner questioned about secrecy. "Are you accusing me of cheating?" In both cases, the goal is the same: to turn your search for truth into an attack you must defend. But the Stoic refuses to be baited. He knows that truth does not panic, and wisdom does not apologize for observation. Remember this: the one who asks, "Are you accusing me?" is often revealing more than they realize. Question 4. Would I ever lie to you? This is poison wrapped in velvet. It sounds tender, almost wounded, as if you've insulted them simply by doubting. But ask yourself this: why would someone need to ask such a question unless they already sensed you were close to the truth? "Would I ever lie to you?" is not really a question. It's theater. It's a performance designed to paint them as noble and you as cruel for even imagining otherwise. It's not about honesty, it's about guilt. Because if they can make you feel guilty for doubting, you'll stop asking. You'll silence your instincts and you'll hand them exactly what they want: blind trust. But the Stoics remind us, truth is never offended by scrutiny. Seneca wrote, "If it is not true, do not say it. If it is not right, do not do it." A person of integrity doesn't need to convince you they're incapable of lying. They let their actions speak, day after day, without fanfare. Think about real life. The partner who hides their messages then says, "Would I ever lie to you?" The colleague who dodges accountability but insists, "Come on, would I really lie?" The more they plead innocence, the more you should question what lies beneath. So how would a Stoic respond? Not by taking the bait. Not by scrambling to reassure. Instead, with calm clarity. The next time someone asks, "Would I ever lie to you?" Pause. Let the silence work, and then reply, "That's not the question. The question is, would I know if you did?" In that instant, you shift the power because liars thrive in fog. They want you blinded by doubt. But your response switches on the floodlight, and once the light is on, the shadows can no longer hide them. Remember, honest people don't fear questions. Only liars do. So never confuse a performance of innocence with the reality of truth. Question 5. Can't we just move on? This is the last card in the manipulator's deck, the desperation play. When denial fails, when distraction fails, they turn to exhaustion. Can't we just move on? On the surface, it sounds like peace, like closure. But look deeper. It's not about resolution, it's about escape. What they're really saying is, I don't want accountability, I don't want to face the truth, I just need you too tired to keep digging. And that's how many lies survive, not because the liar outsmarts the truth, but because the truth seeker grows weary and gives up. The Stoics knew this tactic well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Notice he never added, "unless it's inconvenient." For the Stoic, truth has no expiration date. It does not fade just because someone wants to move on. Think of real life. A company caught in scandal. The leaders beg employees, "Let's not dwell on the past. Let's focus on the future." A spouse exposed in betrayal. "Why keep talking about it? Let's move forward." But in both cases, the plea isn't for healing, it's for silence. It's to bury what still festers in the dark. So how does the Stoic respond? Not with rage, not with endless argument, but with steady resolve. When someone asks, "Can't we just move on?" you breathe and calmly answer, "I'll move on when I understand what happened, not before." That single sentence anchors you in truth. It tells the liar you cannot be rushed. Clarity, not on fatigue. Liars hate this because they thrive on your exhaustion. But when you refuse to surrender, when you stand calmly in certainty, their game is over. Remember, moving on is not about speed, it's about honesty. And only when the truth is faced can peace truly begin. Liars thrive on emotion. They don't need facts, they don't need logic. They only need you to lose your balance. They'll make you feel guilty for asking questions. They'll shame you as too sensitive when you notice the cracks. And when guilt and shame don't work, they'll exhaust you until you're too tired to keep searching for truth. That's the battlefield of the manipulator. Not truth, not reason, but emotion. And this is exactly where Stoicism offers a shield. Epictetus taught, some things are in our control, others are not. This single distinction is the foundation of freedom. When you know what belongs to you and what doesn't, you cannot be enslaved by their tactics. So when they try to guilt you, remember, their feelings are not your responsibility. When they accuse you of being too sensitive, remember, awareness is a strength, not a weakness. And when they try to wear you down, remember, time itself is neutral. Truth has no deadline. The Stoic doesn't react at the liar's pace. He observes, he breathes. He chooses his response with precision, as if holding the sword of reason steady in the middle of chaos. Imagine standing in a storm. Winds howl, rain lashes, thunder roars, but inside you remain unmoved. That's the Stoic state of mind. Calm when others lose control. Clear when others are blinded. Because here's the secret manipulators never expect. Their greatest weapon only works if you give them your reaction. Take that away, and the weapon shatters in their hands. The Stoic knows silence can be strength. Observation can be power. Detachment can be liberation. So the next time someone tries to twist your perception, don't rush. Don't panic. Simply ask yourself, is this within my control or outside of it? And with that single question, you reclaim your freedom. Calm, clear, unshakable. That's how Stoic thinking breaks every chain of manipulation. Conclusion: remain unbreakable. You now know the 5 manipulative questions liars use to control and confuse. Each one is a move on the chessboard. Each one is a trap. But you are no longer a pawn. You are the player. The Stoic does not need to shout. He does not need to rage. He simply sits steady, gazes into truth, and lets the liar reveal themselves. Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, they all knew the same reality. The man who sees clearly is dangerous, not because he is violent, but because he cannot be controlled. So remember, you are not cruel for having standards. You are not harsh for seeking truth. You are not weak for noticing deception. You are awake. And in a world of shadows, the awake are feared. Choose clarity. Choose reason. Walk as a Stoic warrior, calm, observant, unshakable. What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.